My name is Dave Dahle with Kaiser TV. We're bringing to you a new segment connecting with students of Kaiser, parents, connecting them to our elected officials. We have the honor of our Oregon Representative Bill Post on our Facebook Live this evening. Thank you so much, Representative Post. And we have two students, Pawit and Pawat, and their father, Tanarat, Potisuk. They went to Whitaker Middle School. They graduated. Congratulations. And Representative Post, what would you like to say to these two young Kaiserites reaching this great milestone of 8th grade?
Well, congratulations, one. Two, go Whitaker. My son graduated from Whitaker a few years back. My wife was a teacher at Whitaker for many years. She works all around the Salem-Keizer School District now. So before your time, she was there. And but we're big Whitaker fans, watched a lot of Whitaker lightweight and heavyweight football and a lot of other sports when my son was there. But congratulations, really. And moving on to high school, you know, we just a little while ago, and I don't know where it'll be in Dave's segments, but we talked to a high school senior who just graduated. And he said something that I could not say it better to you than he said, and that is grab every opportunity. Don't miss any opportunities. Grab onto them because you never know what will happen. In his case, he didn't go to the prom his junior year because he thought, man, I'll have it my senior year. And guess what? There was no senior prom this year. So he really wishes he had done that. So as you go on into the next 4 years of high school, don't miss anything. Take advantage of everything that comes along.
Awesome.
All right.
Pawit, when they announced to you that we weren't going to be showing up to school, what was it like that first few days of being there with your dad or your mom or in the home to finish your school? Share with our audiences what it was like to that first adjustment to doing school at home.
It was a little, like, it was really different because I didn't get to interact with my teachers or friends. So, like, the only way I can interact with them was via, like, calls, Google Hangouts.
Did you?
Meeting.
Yeah. Did you find, like, in learning education with other students in a classroom, that kind of added to the experience to absorb information, to hear other perspectives, and a teacher tell you her personal experiences, to now curriculum is kind of like in a manual and there's online multiple choice tests? Do you miss that kind of classroom dynamic of education?
I really miss it, yeah.
And your brother here, Pawat, what was your experience that first week of this big change in school for you students?
Well, it was really weird since I've been really used to, like, going to school and, like, hanging out with friends and, like, pretty much getting taught by, like, live teachers. But then once this all started, like, there's not really a teacher to go to anymore. So it's really hard to adjust to.
Yeah. And Tanarat, you as a father, seeing your young men finish their 8th grade year, even through these challenges, they're hitting their milestones. They're moving through the process, even though it's different. But what's your sense of pride and for their spontaneity to be so adjusted?
Yeah, they adjusted well and they work really hard. And we really fortunate that mom put a lot of hard work into these two boys.
Yeah.
And she's standing back there.
Okay.
So yeah, we adjusted quite a bit, and I'm teleworking too, but with their mother that really taking care of these two boys, and they really work hard. Things worked out.
And that's Jatima, who is off camera.
Yeah.
We want her to know, and we are so grateful to you and Tanarat. You parents had to step up in a way that Representative Post and my parents didn't have to. I'm sure they would have, but that's just a scenario. You guys actually delivered and got those kids over that milestone. And we just want to say as a community, thank you. The parents, it's just a difficult time of waiting to know what the next chapter is, but you need to know we're grateful as a community to you parents stepping up and I've heard from other parents, they learned a lot about a lot of subjects they had not followed in a lot of years. Was there also the graduation ceremony? We helped publicize that video that was shot, and each of you students were featured in that graduation video. What was that like to experience that graduation video streamed over the internet?
It was really cool to see, like, to have it, make it look different. Like, usually I expected to like go to a gym and like listen to people talk, but it was like much different seeing it pre-recorded, not really live.
And Pawat, what was your perspective?
Pretty much the same as my brother, yeah.
And for high school, and I'm sure we're hearing as we're getting into the month of August, some athletics are moving forward, some aren't. With what have you heard, and how are you trying to do the best you can to get ready for whatever comes your way for this fall as you become freshmen and move to a different, larger school?
I just probably do some exercises like before the sports start, so just in case it does start, so I can be ready.
Do you guys lean towards this particular sport for the fall?
We plan on doing basketball and track.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're going to be starting up in the winter and then next spring. So you're going to be prepping this fall, working on getting ready for those. Was there anything during the summer, Representative Post, that you did to get ready for your schools that you can remember to help these two soon to be freshmen, be ready for stepping from a middle school to a bigger school? Where did you go to middle school and high school?
Well, guys, it was a long time ago. I went to Salem Academy for both.
Wow.
I went there for, it wasn't called middle school back then, junior high. So I went there in junior high, 7th and 8th grade. And then my family moved over to Central Oregon, and I went to Redmond High School my 9th and 10th grade years. And then I came back and went to Salem Academy again my junior and senior year. But if I remember back to 8th grade, and back then, we started as soon as school was out picking strawberries, and went right from strawberries to beans, and we went right from beans to apples, peaches, and other fruits. And that's what I did every summer, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. And I finally got out of it my freshman year because I played football and then baseball, and that got me out of having to do the work. It was the only reason my dad let me out of having to work. So.
Wow. But it sounds like you had transition. That may not have been easy to have to shift after 2 years of high school, and then other students and build relationships and like, hey, I'm meeting you for the first time. I'm sure that was a transition for you as a young person to transition in high school.
Well, I think for me, it was a little different than you guys will have. You're going to have I don't want to call it stress, but you're going to have the level of anxiety of moving up to the high school and those big high school kids and all that sort of thing. I had that, but also a brand new town, a brand new school, a brand new everything. At least you have all your pals going with you from Whitaker to McNary. So that'll be a little more helpful. But yeah, it is a big adjustment. Middle school, or junior high as we call it back then, is not high school. There's a lot more expectations in your classes and in your studies. But again, as we said earlier, have fun, enjoy it. Don't get too down on yourself, and don't get overloaded. Just enjoy it. It's really I know every old person tells you this, it's gonna go so fast. It's going to go so fast. You will not believe it. So enjoy it.
So we're gonna have Pawat ask you, Bill Post, a question about your job, that he might have a question as an elected official that you might be able to shed some light on that a young person in Kaiser may have. What question might you have for a state representative, Pawat?
Is your job hard?
Well, that's going to take Dave's entire 24 hours of
Yeah.
TV to
Yeah.
answer. Yes, but there's a good kind of hard and there's a bad kind of hard, I guess is how I would put it. The good kind of hard is stuff like this. I mean, this is great. It's not hard. It's great. I love doing things like this. I love helping people in my district. When I get an email from somebody that says, for instance, right now, Dave and I were talking about it earlier, I've been unemployed. I'm not getting my unemployment check. It's been 15 weeks. And then we work with them through the employment department, and we get an email back from them saying, hey, guess what? I got 15 checks in the mail today. I'm back on my feet. I can pay the bills again. That's a sense of accomplishment like nothing I've ever experienced in my life before. I just wish we never had to have gotten to that place to begin with. But it's hard in that I'm responsible for 60 some thousand people in this district, in hoping to make the right decision that won't hurt them but will help them. So yeah, there's some difficulties, but there's some great value in it too.
And Pawit, what question might you have for Representative Post?
When did you know you really want to be a representative?
Well, a quick background. I've been a political nerd all my life, of just an absolute junkie, all the way back to when I was 8 years old and watched President at that time, Nixon, win in his first up for election. I was fascinated by that. But I've been a radio host my whole life. For almost 40 years, I talked on the radio as a DJ and then later as a talk show host. I was a political talk show host, and I was challenged by somebody I think you may be talking to sometime soon, is Senator Kim Thatcher. Then she was representative. And she, on my show live, said, you know, you call us a lot of names down there on that show. Why don't you come down here and put your money where your mouth is? Because she was leaving to go to the Senate. And so that was the first time I ever thought about running for office. And I never thought about it. I never thought about it. But I did it, and we won, and here I am. So she's the senator, I'm the rep, and it's been interesting, very interesting.
Wow. And Tanarat, you as a parent and navigating forward, what questions might you have as a parent ask a representative that represents the city where you live and raise your family?
That is a hard question because I don't know what kind of question I should ask.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Then I have one. Going back to school in fall term is gonna be, I think it's still in the air, and we are not sure what going to do yet. So I can see both ways too. Go back to the school, they'll get something good, but there's some safety issue. So I would like to know more about information and what is coming, like vaccine, stuff like that, to be prepared, and for parents to make the decision too, what to do with the boys, with my children here.
That is really, it's a great question, and it's a very difficult one for me to answer, in that there are decisions that are being made about education I don't have any input in. I wish I did. My wife is a teacher, as I said. I listen to her for all my education knowledge of the education system. She teaches me. I know what she would like, and that would be to teach. That she just wants to teach. But you're right, there's some safety issues. What are we going to have in the fall? What's going to happen? The Department of Education has an overarching plan, but they're also saying to each school board and each school district, you do what you want to do with these goals. And that's a little bit scary because, for instance, my district is Kaiser, St. Paul, Newburgh. Newburgh hasn't made their decision on what they're going to do this fall. St. Paul is doing all regular school, just like normal. Salem Kaiser School District is doing a hybrid potentially program. So I can't answer your question because I don't know.
But there's also, for your position as a representative, as our state gets resources and navigates how they respond with reduced budgets. We just spoke to a student who is done with McNary. There were funds available for college that, because of the cut in taxes, the less revenue produced by people working, there's not the funds there for students that were there before the pandemic. And so those are just some things that through the elected officials are going to be hearing about what resources available. And so I would say connect with them, because they get information, need feedback, because there's just going to be less funds to cover what used to be covered before. And it's just a difficult choices we have to make as a state. But thank you so much for this interaction. It hasn't been done before. And you guys are the pride of Kaiser. And we got you another 4 years in our schools. And what would you like to say in closing to your parents for stepping up in the way that they have for this last quarter?
I would like to say thank you, because obviously without them, I wouldn't be able to like go through with all of this.
Yeah. And Pawat, what do you want to say?
I would also want to say thank you to mom and dad, because well, they helped me get to the point I am. Like I'm pretty successful because of them and what they did for us.
Well, that's awesome. And off camera, Jatima, we know you're there. We so appreciate you. It's on the backs of mothers who have had to do so much. And we're really proud of the example. You're the Kaiser spirit, pride, spirit, and volunteerism is on our center crossroads at Chemawa and River Road. And that's been exemplified in your family. And we really want to thank you for joining us this evening. And we'll want to have you back later in the school year and here as we're adapting. But it's inspiring that you look good, you're motivated, and it looks like you're able to take it on whatever it happens. Don't you see this optimism in them, Representative Post? They look really great.
Absolutely.
All right, so we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for joining us, and connect for more great segments on Kaiser TV on Facebook and on channel 23 on the public access channel. And I'll put in contact information for Representative Post in the description of this video. And Jatima, Tanarat, Pawit, and Pawat, thank you so much for joining us. And this is Dave Dahle with Kaiser TV. Thank you.
Thank you.